about 7 o'clock at night on Friday. I am going absolutely nowhere, but I'm gonna do this for you guys because as intimidating as black smoky eyes are, they're really not that hard if you know what to do and how to make that easier for yourself so that you don't look like you got punched or like you're a panda bear, which we've all been there. I want to break it down today because there is one simple thing you can do to ensure that you don't look like you got punched. So let's begin. For one, it is burning up in here right now. I got like the chin sweat going on. The first thing you need to do is put an eyeshadow primer on. There are looks, I will be honest, where you can get away with not wearing an eyeshadow primer. This is not one of them, unless you want to have lines of black eyeshadow that are creasing in your eye look. I'm not down for that. So you don't need to buy an expensive one. This one's super cheap. It's by Wet n Wild, and do yourself a favor and put this on. So this, I want you to see that you just put it across your lid, just enough to cover a thin layer. You don't want to goop it up. So pretty much for the rest of this, we're gonna be up close and personal. Class, let's begin. The first thing you need to do is put down a eyeshadow that is the same color as your skin tone. So obviously that will be different for everybody. I'm just going to apply one that matches mine. We just go all over the lid, up to the brow bone. Same kind of deal as the primer. You just want to make sure you get it everywhere. The next step is to use a transition color. What does that mean, you ask? The easiest way to tell is to look forward and see where you see the shadow fall between the socket of your eye. That's your crease, and so the transition color goes in between the crease and the upper lid. And what this does is it helps create a canvas for the rest of the shadows so that it magically ends up looking blended at the end, even though you had to do this first. I shouldn't fail to mention that the transition color for most eye looks should be a shade or two darker than your skin tone. So again, that will vary. And to do this, you want to use a pretty fluffy brush so the color is deposited evenly as you're blending. And I'm blending in circular motions. Build the color up just enough so that it accentuates the crease when you look forward. So now you'll see that it really shows where the socket of my eye ends and the crease of my eye is. Now we're gonna start the scary part, which is adding the black. So for this, you wanna use a little bit more of a concentrated brush. I'm just gonna use a flatter brush that's still got a little bit of give to it. It's not super stiff. And you wanna take a deep brown color to start. Today I'm going to be using the Tartelette palette. It's by the company Tarte. Like all of my videos, it doesn't matter what eyeshadow you're using, it matters the color. We're taking a dark brown, whatever dark brown you have, and I'm going to start to put the dark brown across my lid. You can see now I'm using first patting motion, so you pat to get the pigment, and then because this brush is smaller, it can nestle into my crease right here, and I'm going back and forth. So now we have both eyes with the brown on them. It's looking a little rough. That's fine, it's just a rough Etch-a-Sketch right now. We are building it out, so let's now take a denser brush. This is even smaller, even thinner, and we're gonna go into a black. Now, if you're really gonna be wearing black smoky eye a lot, I would recommend that you get a good, highly pigmented black shadow. If you get something like a black from the drugstore, it's not gonna be that opaque. It's not gonna be that full of color that you need a black shadow to be if you're going to use it on your entire eyelid. So maybe invest in this Tartelette palette, not power, because the black is really nice and rich. or something just a little bit more high-end if you're gonna be using black that often. You can do it without going to get a high-end palette, but it just helps. Okay, so here we go with the black, people. I'm patting it this time, there's no rubbing. And you'll see we are already losing pigment right under here. This is why you don't do your foundation first when you're doing a dark smoky eye or even an eye look with a lot of glitter, because it tends to fall down and you've really got to be mindful of the crease here. So I'm not going above the crease. When I'm looking forward, you're barely seeing a hint of black, and that is how it should be. Do not cross the crease. We are going to come back to the black, but I want to tell you about my very special tip that makes it easier to do a black smoky eye. And that is to blend another color into the crease. Okay, I'm talking any color of the rainbow. If you like yellow, while that would be harder, it is possible. If you like orange, if you like purple, if you like pink, if you like blue, if you like pastel colors, if you like different shades of brown, choose a different color besides black, okay? It cannot be black, to blend into the crease, and it will make this black smoky eye 1 million times more wearable, I promise. Today, I choose orange. For my orange today, I'm using the Anastasia Prism palette, okay? And there's a couple orange shades in here. I'm gonna be using this shade and this shade. Using both of those shades is really going to help me to smoke out the crease, and that's what you need in order for this to work. So you may want to consider using 2 colors within the same shade range. So if you're doing purple, 2 purples, 1 lighter, 1 darker. If you're doing blue, 2 blues, 1 lighter, 1 darker, because it will make this part of the process a little bit easier. Taking the first orange, I'm going to take it on a fluffier brush, and we're going above the crease this time. And we're blending with soft motions. Already it's looking a little better. It's still rough, but this takes time. Don't try this for the first time, like if you're going to some gala or some fancy dinner. Let me do the other eye. For the second color of orange, we're going to take the darker shade, and we're going to go right closer to the crease, so don't blend it up so much. Concentrate it on the center of the crease here, and again, wipe back and forth. When I look down here, we're losing a lot of the black. Don't worry about that, because obviously we're gonna have to go back and clean up the black and fix that up. I'm looking 50 Shades of Grey right now, but we're about to really just pull it all together for you. Before we put the black back on, you need a black eyeliner. I'm just grabbing a black pencil. Okay, very simple. Pull, I usually pull from my eyebrow, and this is gonna look really creepy, so bear with me. But you wanna pull up so you can get under the lash line. If you come home from work and you have, you know, some time by yourself, a good episode of Friends on, go ahead and practice your liner, practice your eyeshadow. You're gonna take it off or take a shower anyway, so what's the big deal? I recommend that. It's how I've gotten to be a little bit more comfortable with all these types of looks as well. But pull up and under the lash line here, okay, this is so awesome, this angle. Go under the lashes and darken them. See the difference between this eye and this eye? This eye's lashes look naturally darker because there's no skin color coming from under the lashes. This eye, there's a haziness that's not quite as strong at the base of the lashes. All right, peeps, we did it. Let's touch up the black shadow. So taking the same concentrated brush as we used before and the black shadow that we used before, we're now going to just pat the black back on. We're taking the brush we used from the dark brown next, and we're going to help the edges of the black blend a little bit better into the orange or whatever color you've chosen. This is like using the reversal of what we did to start. So we went from brown to black to the color, and now we went back to black, and now we're going back to the brown shadow. And this is really how you just blend it all together. Blend that. Oh my gosh, it's coming together, people. It's coming together, and I promise you, you can do this with any color. As I said, some colors will be more difficult to blend into black than others, but it's possible. Let's zoom out. I love a black smoky eye. Look at this. I mean, we're gonna finish this right now, but it looks so intense. All eye colors will pop if they're surrounded by a dark color because it just brings attention to the shade of your eye. So I just love a black smoky eye, which is why I really want to show you guys how to do it. So let's finish up the rest of the makeup really quick. I'm going to do my foundation, and I will come back to show you the lower lash line.
You act like gravity.
Alright, foundation is done. Everything else is done. I want to mention one thing, and that is before we finish this black smoky eye, I believe it looks best if you do have a little bit of a dewier skin finish. So if you're confused about skin finishes and foundation finishes, check out my Foundation 101 video. But basically, if you're going to have such a focus on the eyes, I think keeping the skin looking a little bit more natural, not so powdered, not so thick or covered, the skin just looks polished and pretty. So there's a quick bonus tip. Keep your foundation looking a little lighter. Clean off my lips real quick before we finish the eyes. To finish the eyes, we're going to do one simple thing, and that is use the same color that you used as your upper transition color underneath your eyes. So if you used orange like I did, then you're going to use orange underneath. So I'm taking the lighter of the two orange shades that I used. I'm going to go under my eye with a tapered little brush like this and just buff this color right under my eye. This is going to soften the look, keep the attention to the upper lid where the black is, and not close off your eyes so much, but still give the drama of a black smoky eye. And then to finish, you're going to take the black eyeliner that you used and go on what is called your waterline. I like to just put the line really close to my lash line here on the bottom. And then lastly, we just need bottom lash mascara. Ta-da! Okay, so I promised you it was a black smoky eye. It was not that hard because we used that other color. Can you imagine right now if you were looking at me and I did not have the orange on and it was all black? Let me just tell you, I've been there. I've done it, so you don't have to. Consider subscribing because I plan on doing a lot of videos like this in the future. Thanks for watching. These lights are just making me hot. Okay, and you've been talking to me this whole time. I'm sorry, but this looks freaking good. Honey. Oh, honey. So now we clean up and we eat.